What's up, folks? Here we are for the final movie in the original trilogy of Star Wars films, and also the final film in the Star Wars saga completely up until December of this year, Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi was released 3 years after The Empire Strikes Back in 1983, but the movie is actually set 1 year after the events of The Empire Strikes Back. The film is not directed by George Lucas, but is actually directed by Welsh director Richard Marquand. However, George Lucas serves as the film executive producer as he did with The Empire Strikes Back, and also penned the screenplay with Lawrence Kasdan. So again, George Lucas is continuing this theme of giving the Star Wars franchise to other reliable people in order to tell the story of these magnificent characters in this epic space opera. So Return of the Jedi, we finally get the revelation of the evil Emperor Palpatine, who was the mastermind behind the Galactic Empire. All the way up until this movie, Darth Vader has been the focal point antagonist. He has been the primary villain. However, there's always a master to the apprentice, and the evil Emperor Palpatine is the master. So in Return of the Jedi, the evil Emperor is constructing a second Death Star in order to crush the Rebel Alliance once and for all. In retaliation, the Rebel Alliance launches a full-scale attack on his plans in order to finally crush the Galactic Empire. So this creates a full-scale war in the galaxy, a full-scale conflict between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire. Of course, at the forefront of this all, we have Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, and Han Solo, played by Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford. Beyond this massive conflict, Luke Skywalker is struggling to bring Darth Vader, who revealed that he was his father, he is struggling to bring him back from the dark side of the Force. So if you don't know what necessarily happens in this movie, you can go see it for yourself, but this is the epic conclusion to the Star Wars saga that fans have been waiting for ever since The Empire Strikes Back left us on an epic cliffhanger. So here's the thing about Return of the Jedi. The Empire Strikes Back had reached such a peak of quality filmmaking that it was nearly impossible for a movie to follow up The Empire Strikes Back and even consider being better than that movie, or even the original Star Wars. The Star Wars franchise up until this point was nearly a flawless creation. It really had nothing wrong with it. It was influential and groundbreaking in every sense of the word, and The Empire Strikes Back had surpassed its original as a quality film. So with all of that said, Return of the Jedi is not a bad film in any right. It just does not match the magic and the special feeling that you get from watching Star Wars or The Empire Strikes Back. But I will say that it does bring a satisfying conclusion to the Star Wars saga. Luke finally reaches his father, and everything is resolved in this movie as it should be. But again, this film is great. There's some incredible action sequences in this movie. The visual effects get upped and upped again. You still see some magnificent costume and set and makeup design. Everything about this movie still has all of the great elements that exist within The Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars. The thing is, it just doesn't match up with the quality of those films because they were just so groundbreaking. So I mean, I really don't have much bad to say about the movie. Everything that could be said has been said a million times over. Like I said, it doesn't quite stack up to its predecessors, but the Return of the Jedi is still a very satisfying film to watch, especially if you were trying to see what would happen with all of the characters that we cared about for so long in the other two movies. And not only that, this was the last movie that we would get for years before the prequel trilogy would be released in theaters. But in between Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace, which was released in 1999, there was exponential growth within the Star Wars universe. Everything that came afterwards would be some sort of expansion to the stories and the characters and the world that we had come to know and love. So while The Return of the Jedi is the weakest of the original trilogy, it's still getting an incredible score from me. It's getting an 8.5 out of 10 because it's still a great movie. It's just the weakest compared to two near perfect movies, and that's not pretty bad. So with that said, that brings the epic Star Wars saga to a conclusion. Go check out my other reviews of all the other Star Wars movies if you haven't. As always, follow me on social media at JRW the Creator. Go check out my website, JordanRWilliams.com, and I will see y'all next time.